All right, welcome, y'all. I will share the link to the agenda in the chat. It is pretty light unless other folks have things they want to talk about. Um, Feel free to add your name. All right, well, um, as usual, first topic on the agenda is just checking in and seeing what version folks are on and if you guys have any upgrade plans. CW Mars is planning to do a very large Evergreen upgrade. I'm pretty sure we're going to 3.15.4 from 3.7.4. Um, might be 3.15.5, but we'll see. It's going to be a great time. Lots of new screens for all of our libraries to learn. Um, but we are doing that on October 12th. We did do testing with like Aspen. I mean, I didn't expect anything weird to happen, but like looks good if that's any additional confirmation for folks. Um, I think at our last meeting, some folks were getting ready to do an upgrade. I don't know if anyone's here. I see Noble, I think, was doing an upgrade. It looks like Pales is upgrading in November. Sweet. All right. Well, the second topic, item tag URLs, is something that I added. It came up, I don't know, maybe a month ago for us. We, full disclosure, don't have a lot of libraries who are using tags. Some use tags, some use notes. I think most of our libraries use notes, but there are some who use tags. It's basically, I mean, I think of it as like basically the same thing, just in, slightly different terminology, slightly different functionalities. Um, and so what we found is that if there's a URL in the tag, um, we're not sending it over. So it's stripped somewhere when we're getting the export ready and sending it over to Aspen. We had Jason, our developer, take a look and he said that like we're not even like sending that over. So it's not like we're sending that over and Aspen isn't reading it or anything. It's just that we're fully not Evergreen doesn't send the URL or the item tag URL in that export. We have we don't have a ton of records that use item tags, but for example, one that we found was a museum pass. So the item tag value was the link to the museum. And in Aspen, that just isn't there, right? Because we're not sending it, which makes sense. But I didn't know if this was something other libraries maybe used more than we do, if this was something we should consider, looking into getting development for, especially since it would be development on both ends. And then slightly related is just that if there is a record with both item notes and item tags, they are formatted so they're like right up against each other with no spacing in between the end of like the body of the note and the title of the tag. Very minor UI thing, but if folks are using tags, then that might be something we want to take a look at. Is no news good news? I mean, does no news mean that no one uses item tags? Like, I mean, I personally like haven't at libraries that I've worked at in CW Mars. We did look at our records, and it is like a very small handful of libraries and records that are using item tags, and most folks use notes, like by and far. Um, yeah, it looks like other people don't use them. Right, yeah, tags to designate special collections that aren't otherwise noted. Yeah. I think a few of our libraries who do use tags, it's really like book plates for like donated by John Smith, donated in memoriam of Pearl Baker, whatever, different like I feel like that's really the case where I see those item tags, at least in our system. So that makes sense that other folks might use it for like those special oddball parts of your collection. All right. Well, sweet. If this isn't really a topic to talk about, great. I will take that win. Like I said, it came up on our end because we noticed that when we were doing our testing for 315 that there's a difference in if you're viewing that record, obviously in the Evergreen like staff catalog, because you can see the item tag and the URL versus in Aspen where you don't see that. But if it's not a problem, then it's not a problem. So perfect. Um, all right. This next section, our dev priorities, I fully just copy pasted it from the last meeting. Let's see. Karen says their tags are showing. Yes, so the tags do show up, but if there is a URL in the tag, so like if you are linking out to, in our case, it's museums for museum passes, things like that, right? So Evergreen doesn't send the URL as part of the item tag. Yeah, no worries at all. There's so much to keep track of. When this discussion first came up, I had to like sit on it for a couple weeks before I looked at it because I was like, I don't know if my brain can do that right now. Um, Sweet. Yeah. So, I mean, again, if people aren't really using like URLs in their item tags, then I feel like it's not a major issue. Um, we can always add that as something like might be nice for some folks, but obviously it's not a need, at least for the Evergreen Aspen folks right now. Um, So yeah, this next section was our dev priorities. Like I said, I just copy pasted it from the last meeting. I didn't like go in there and change anything. I feel like this is something we can just kind of keep an eye on and work on and talk about as a group. I do want to add there is one update that opt-in, opt-out for reading history and Evergreen is in 2509. Big shout out to Leo. Um, so if patrons are opting in or opting out of reading history in Aspen, that should also update in Evergreen. Previously, it was not. Um, so yeah, is there any topic on here or anything like else that folks would want to bring up as potential like dev priorities, things that we should maybe keep an eye on as a group for Evergreen Aspen stuff?
I have a question about the opt-in and out for the reading history. I think for some of the other ILSs, the library, and Leo or Mark can correct me if I'm wrong, but ILSs have the individual partner has a choice whether or not they want it to update the ILS. Is that true for Evergreen as well? So, because some libraries don't want it updating the ILS because they don't want the data stored there. Is that what was the development? I just missed this.
Was that the options that yeah, the two options you're talking about library system would work for every other ILS other than
Okay,
Folio and some of the minor ones, but it was never implemented for Evergreen. So now it is. Follows the
gotcha.
same rules.
Cool. Thanks.
Sorry, I should clarify. There are a bunch of settings that we've had turned on that just like don't work with Evergreen, so I fully was just like, yeah, it's on. Like, awesome. All right, and I don't see any like, I mean, topic updates. Does anyone want to talk about like privacy stuff? Any other like opt-in, opt-out options? I personally don't have anything to add to any of these topics, which is why I'm not sure if we want to talk about them. Self-registration, I don't know if I don't see Corey in here, so maybe we don't talk about self-registration this time around. All right. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Great. Moving on then. Aspen Con is next week. Whoop, whoop. Party. No. It is October 8th through 10th. We will be streaming the presentations and lightning talks if you are unable to attend in person. But if you are there in person, I will be there in person as well as a few other folks I see in this room. So we could meet each other in person and see how tall we all really are. But if you're going to be there, we can, say hi as Evergreen folks. I think who's Galen's doing a presentation. It's not really Evergreen, they're Aspen things because it's Aspen Con, but Galen's doing a presentation or a workshop. Rogan's doing a presentation. I think there's someone else who maybe does Evergreen stuff who might be doing a presentation, but it's a good time. So, hope to see you there. And if you're not able to attend, hope to see you there next year. Thank you, Jordan, for coming in with the streaming link. I will put that in the meeting notes. All right. The last thing I have is just a reminder that our next meeting is in 2 months on the first Thursday, December 4th. Um, is there anything else that anyone wants to talk about? Otherwise, really short meeting. Yes, Ruth, it is a brand spanking new YouTube profile. I think it was made last week, Jordan, something like that.
Last week or the week before, we just wanted a place just for Aspen stuff that wasn't connected to any specific vendor. So it's a part of actually, I think Koha's YouTube or Koha's Google umbrella, but it's a different channel. And we'll get that once, we complete Aspen governance. I'm sure we'll get our own that isn't tied to a different open source project.
I think I'm the first subscriber.
Yay. We haven't been publicizing it. We're still,
Awesome.
we'll get there.
Congratulations. Yeah, no, it's good.
Congratulations to you for being the first subscriber.
I was, oh no, second. I'm going to say I'm the second unless somebody else just subscribed. I just refreshed to see. Nerds.
You're still our number
Sorry.
one fan in our hearts.
So this is good. This is my, not my first, but my last Evergreen Aspen because I'm going to, hopefully, a Koha Aspen implementation soon. Yeah. So
I
I'm
guess we allow
excited.
it.
I mean, I'm kind of excited about it. I was very excited when they went to open source before I even applied to the position, but nonetheless. Anyway, why am I talking?
Yeah.
I'm going to mute myself again.
I ask myself that a lot, especially when I end up running these meetings, right? But that's, we're happy to have you in any form of Aspen meetings, Ruth.
Actually, I will say, so I am here for a very specific reason because I had this panic moment where I was like, it's been a year, I think, since I have been on the backside of Aspen in the interfaces. And I like panicked, like, oh, how do I Aspen? And so I'm gonna go through things. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna come back. And I've seen so many of the interfaces, what people are doing on the front end looks so good and awesome. But yeah, so anyway, still
You just
applicable.
gotta use it. Just gotta get
Yes.
used to it.
Yep.
I tell my libraries, please just use it. That's the only way you're gonna figure it out. Like, please, I promise you can't break it. And if you do, like, I'll buy you lunch. Like,
Try hard.
right? No, it's very, I mean, I said the same thing to my patrons when I would teach Libby classes, right? Like, you can't break it. Just
Oh,
use it. It's
definitely. Yeah,
fine.
not bad. Yeah.
And if you do break it, please tell me because I want to know what you did. Like, and it's very, I mean, I feel like librarians, we're all patrons, right? So so many of them, especially at our smaller libraries where they don't, have obviously as much staff, or maybe it's only the director and volunteers. They're like, I don't know, tech, just and so like I do little like blog posts and things like here's like 5 easy things you can customize on your catalog, and like those serve as documentation that I can then share with other folks in the future. And so much it's just a confidence thing, like
So yeah, like so many things. Well, and also it's so good to see like all the representation here. Evergreen, Indiana, DW Mars, Noble, Missouri Evergreen, looking, of course, Grove, Equinox. So like this just warms my non-librarian, I don't know if it's a non-librarian, my open source heart to see this and how it is becoming its own community. And I saw the governance things go out and forming a board for the community. So I'm cheering you on forever. You can't see me, but I have cheerful hands.
And we'll see you at the Koha meeting.
Maybe I have, so I am not in that community at all, and I got to figure it out because it's been all evergreen my whole life, my whole professional life though, since 2007, 2008. So I feel old.
I think Clams
I
is
think,
using Koha, so you can still have some Massachusetts friends.
oh, it doesn't matter. I'm in Virginia, so
Still, to
I
replace CW
know
Mars in your heart.
nothing can replace CW Mars in my heart. Let's be real. It's impossible. But yes, Clams does use it. But it looks to like too, I mean, there aren't really Koha people here, but Hampton Roads here in Virginia seems to be leaning whole lots in the Koha direction. So my library, Newport News Public Library, went. I was like, that's pretty legit. And then City of Hampton went, and now Williamsburg Regional Library has also announced that they're going to Aspen and Koha. Like, are we thinking maybe we might do a resource sharing consortium? I mean, that could be kind of cool, but I didn't ask my opinion. I'll give it eventually anyway, but because we can all work together. Anyway, that's my contribution that's not on the agenda. Good to see you all.
Listen, I love it. I always feel weird just ending a meeting after like 15 minutes, so we're bonding,
I mean, I
it's
can come in
the
for color to
community.
any meeting, but it's also, I have stories about Morrison Reeves and Porter County that are represented here, both special places in my own Indiana heart. So if you ever want to know what they are, just ask. But Sarah knows. I don't think Elizabeth knows the story. Maybe she does. Too much sharing during their implementation of Evergreen. That's how she would know.
I don't know if I know.
I'm going to tell you then right now. Back in the day, I had a child. His name is Ben. He's 36 years old now. And he was actually born at Porter County Memorial Hospital.
Yes,
So
I do remember this, which is now torn down.
I know, and it should have been torn down. Like I don't like have a problem with that. But he lives there still with his family. Lives in Maryville. And so every time I would drive up there for the migration and training, I'd just be like, this is a wonderful time to reflect on that time in my life and my son and my family and the good things in life. So it like is cemented. You are too, Jordan?
Yeah, I'm from
Are you
Valparaiso.
36 years old? Don't tell.
No, I'm
Tell me
older.
how old you are.
I'm older than
Okay.
36.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure, didn't we graduate the same year? Didn't we discuss this? You, me,
I
and
think
Inga all
so.
together? Okay.
I think so, but don't, I'm not, I think I'm the same year as Inga. I don't know if you're the same year as Inga, but
I
anyway.
am, although I did not know either of you.
Yeah, somehow 500 people in a graduating class. But anyway, this has
Yeah.
gone way off the rails.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And so Morrison Reeves, I had a professional goal, which I tried never to do because I was very unconfident, which might be surprising, but it is real. But my goal was while I was with Evergreen, Indiana, I wanted to see Morrison Reeves join Evergreen, Indiana, and be the final library system in Wayne County. And such a good relationship with them, and driving through Richmond all the time. It was close to my home. And by gum, they came in at 130, and I was very happy. I'm still very happy. I don't know, they're very happy, but I'm very happy. It is. It is my crown jewel. Thank you. And it's beautiful, and they did such a good job, and I have all good memories. Yay. And their self-checks work.
I love that. I don't know. Self-checks working is a big ask, so fingers crossed they stay. I dealt with ghost circulations from self-checks when I worked at a library last, and it was a whole time going back and forth with Biblioteca. Ugh. But anyways.
Yeah. Library stories. I love them.
Oh, so good.
So anyways,
So
that's
if
all I have. I'll shush.
no worries. If no one has anything else, then I think we're, good until December. If you think of anything, feel free to put it in the Slack channel or email the listserv. Or I will make the agenda outline for December. Feel free to add it to the agenda.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
For this group, I'm spacing here. Is this a Bywater specific Aspen group? Okay,
No.
because we're migrating over to the Evergreen, Indiana. We pay for our own, but we also get it free for our being in the consortium, and we're migrating over to theirs. And I couldn't remember if this was specifically Bywater, probably because I'm just seeing Jordan and Mark who were there. But okay, I just want to make sure I didn't need to get out of the group.
Yeah, no, there were two groups at first, and we combined them at some
Okay,
point.
I thought that's
Yeah.
that's what I thought. But okay.
Yeah, no, you're not. It was not a fever dream. That was real. But yes, we're just any Evergreen Aspen folks.
Okay.
So if you use Evergreen and you use Aspen, or you're thinking about using Aspen and you use Evergreen, or vice versa, come on down. We're obviously a fun group. Cool. All right. I will work on updating the meeting notes so that there's an outline for next month, and we'll see. I'm sure a bunch of you guys in other Aspen meetings, and I'll see some of you at the conference next week. I hope everyone has a good rest of your, week, and stay cool, dry, warm, whatever your weather is. Bye, folks.
Thanks, Sierra.